All right, welcome to episode number 24 for the Phoenix Suns salary cap situation. So, this is an interesting chess piece to talk about because you can see, even with the players trending to be traded, Durant is at the top of the list. So, let's look at a couple different deals. And full disclosure, I'm a Miami Heat fan. I don't know that I really want Kevin Durant, but guess what? He may go to Miami. Pat Riley is going to go whale hunting, and he is a whale. So the Heat may end up getting him regardless of what I think. So one thing we're going to do right away is we're going to integrate the Nets into this so that they can take on salary for us because it's going to take three teams to make these deals work because the Suns desperately need to get under the second apron to be able to aggregate salaries. And there's a lot of restrictions when you go over, and you're basically hard capped and you can't do anything. So the easiest way to make this work is just to renounce players for the Nets for salary dumping purposes. Okay. So for example, let's say that the Suns wanted to trade Bradley Beal and they say, listen, you're not going to start. We're going to bench you. We want to trade you. So we're going to trade you to the Nets. They can buy you out. Okay. So what that move did is now we have first apron space. So basically, we have a lot of cap space to make it work. And one idea I had was with the Bradley Beal trade is we could do a sign and trade for D'Angelo Russell, who's close with Devin Booker. How many years does he have? Does he have 3 years or 4 years? Because what I want to do is I want to match up the salaries for Devin Booker and D'Angelo Russell for 3 years. Okay, so let's do a 3-year deal. We'll give him 25 million a year. Okay, so you got that, and we have 8 million in cap space. Which how much do we have for this? Let me see. Okay, so I can take on 41 million. All right. So, but this is more about Durant than anything else. So there's really two teams that are interested, maybe three: the Spurs, the Rockets, and of course my Miami Heat. And so if we integrate the Heat, we could do all three trades just to show you how it could work. You could send Durant to Miami, and they have to send back at least 27 million to get under the second apron. So you could do that, and that should work. Okay, so before we do this deal, I need to clear off some space for the Heat, so that way we can get below the apron. Let's see if the Nets have 8 million in cap space. Now I don't understand that because I had 90 million. This is not 90 million. So maybe the calculation is off here. Let me see what we can take for. Okay, so let's send Terry Rozier and Duncan Robinson to the Nets. And let's see what happens there. Because what that does is that gets us way below the first apron. Okay. So that didn't work because we're 54 million over for the Nets, which we'll work on that. So first thing I'll do is I'm going to undo this, deal with D'Lo. We're going to undo the contract. Okay, and we're going to rewind this. I'm going to undo Bradley Beal. And that should, with 16 million, should clear enough space so we can make room for Durant. Yeah. Okay, so we sent those two guys to Brooklyn, and then Durant's coming to Miami. Not the Nets, to Miami. He's already been in the Nets. I don't think he's going back there. There you go. It works. So basically, the Heat keep everybody. And they only trade Duncan Robinson and Terry Rozier to get Durant. Okay, so that's one scenario that you can do. So let me undo that. I'll undo this, and I'll get rid of the Heat, and now let's look at the Rockets and the Spurs. Okay, because like I said, again, you have to get Bradley Beal off the books to be able to create some flexibility. And I'm going to show you the final trade that I want to do once we send Durant to a new location. So we can send him to the Spurs, okay, and that actually should clear without having to do anything. Okay, so let's get like, let's see, let's send him to the Suns. Okay. All right, so this trade's a little more difficult than anticipated, which is fine. So if I undo that, excuse me. Okay, we'll come back to this trade. I'm going to go, let's do the Rockets first. Okay, because I got Bradley Beal over here, so we have plenty of room to move around. And so this, I have to give him 3 years because to do a sign and trade, because I can't opt in, because it doesn't necessarily work. Let's send him to the Suns and Durant to the Rockets. Let's see if that works. Now we have a lot of cap hold, so I have to go and adjust that too. So let's do that. Let's renounce all these players. Okay. There you go. It worked. So that's how we can get him to Houston. The Spurs trade, I mean, I don't think that the Spurs are going to do the deal. But if they do, you kind of have the framework of what they need to do to make it happen. I'll reset this, and I'll show you one final trade here. So let's go to the Suns. And this is a deal that I want to do with the Nets and the Knicks to get Cat and D'Angelo Russell to the Phoenix Suns. Okay. So we'll give him a 3-year deal. So forget about the Spurs trade, and I just want to get Cat and D'Lo onto the Suns with Booker. Okay, so I got $1 million from the Knicks, and then the trade is golden. There you go. So in this scenario, Durant goes to the Knicks. Bradley Beal goes to the Nets. D'Lo and Cat go to the Suns, and they're below the first apron because D'Lo's taking away less. So it's not a bad deal. There you go. And let's see if I can get them to the Spurs. If if I can get Durant to the Spurs. It's a little more complicated than I originally anticipated, but doesn't mean that it's not doable. So they have, let's do this. I need to renounce all these players. So once I do all this, we'll be able to make a deal. We gotta prime the trade to work. So we have 11 million in cap space. I can grab Durant, and if I send out, let's say, that should be clean. Keyword should be 40 million at the cut. Okay, so I need to include the Nets in this. So let's do it like this. Again, this is a longer deal than I anticipated, which is fine. So we're going to do this, where we're going to get 90 million in cap space from the Nets. I'm going to send Bradley Beal to the Nets. And we're going to send Durant to the Spurs. So Bradley Beal to the Nets. That literally clears up all of the cap space we need. And then we'll call the Spurs, say, hey, we're ready to make a deal. Send Durant to the Spurs. And they want Harrison Barnes, let's say. Okay. Okay, I gotta cut 28 million, really? Alright. Let's cut 28 million. So I'll send him out to the Suns. And let's just do like this guy right here. There you go. So now we got Durant on the Suns. Like I said, I don't think the Spurs are willing to part with two really young players to get Durant. I wouldn't do it. If I was the Spurs, I would give them the minimum. I'd make the space available, and then I would trade for him only if I have enough room. And I keep all my players, because they do have the number 2 pick. So they don't, and the number 14 pick. I give him a number 14 pick for Durant. I wouldn't give him a number 2. He's got 1 year left. He's 37, 36. Doesn't have a lot of wind left in the sail, so to speak. So, there you go. Thanks for watching Sports by Cap here on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, so you get an update anytime we upload new content, and check out the latest videos from the show right here.